will start with the forwards to midfielders of the position changes. So the 5 players, I believe, who got position changed were St. Maximin, Rodrigo, Huang, Joel Linton, and Jordan Ayew. Were any of these players that you have looked at, debated putting in your team, or debated adding to your team later on?
Yeah, St. Maximin might be somebody to consider because I think he can still get assists, but I don't have any interest in any of those players. I don't think they're good FPL assets, and I would basically just look at that list and say the position change doesn't impact anything for me.
Okay, so especially, so you even think the forward to midfielder position change isn't a huge deal for these players, because obviously it means that they could rack up more points if they were to score goals.
Yeah, they get another point for a goal. They get a point for a clean sheet. So again, but I just don't think the level of player that each of them are really makes a difference for me. I think there are players who could move from forward. I mean, if you move Harry Kane from a forward to a midfielder, I mean, I think I'm jumping all over that one. But I just don't have enough interest in those players to have that advantage play out. But the forwards do get more bonus points. So, that's the other thing you have to remember. But it's still, in the end, in my opinion, better to be listed as a midfielder.
Yeah. Okay. So then the reversal, midfielder to forward, there were 3 players, Jota, Havertz, and Mbeumo. I know I heard you talking about Diego Jota a little bit earlier in maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when FPL was just coming out and the position changes were being released. Specifically with Diego Jota, is that someone that you're interested in bringing into your team this coming year?
At some point. The problem is he's got a hamstring injury right now, and so he hasn't been playing any preseason, and Klopp has been really kind of like he's just not fit, he's not there. So I still would consider bringing him in, but I still potentially rate Diaz higher because he's listed as a midfielder. And Darwin scored 4 goals, I think, yesterday in preseason. So, it's hard for me to say, but I might even potentially be on Darwin, depending on what happens with him and Martial, more than Jota.
So do you think start of the season probably won't be starting then? Do you think Luis Diaz has kind of taken over that winger position?
I think Diaz will get a couple of games. I think he's guaranteed, my opinion would be, for a couple of games. I think Jota will, be getting limited minutes. I think with the 5 subs, maybe after a couple of games, then he starts coming in on the 60 mark, because I think we're going to see a lot more players with 5 subs now being used. But I'm not sure he's going to get a starting position. And if Diaz doesn't look good, I would guess somewhere around game 3, you might start seeing Jota come in.
Okay.
Interesting. That's very good to know. I don't have Jota in my team. Did you have him in your team?
I did not either.
Okay, no. So we're all on the same page there with how we're feeling. I think a lot of these position change players as well. If
9 million as well is quite a lot.
Who?
9 million for Jota.
No, it definitely is. And if we're looking at midfielders, defenders, Canos and Dallas, and I don't think many people. Did you choose either of those? Canos or Dallas?
I did not.
So all of the position changes.
Well, I picked Huang.
Okay, so he picked right.
Yeah.
But that's a decent shout.
I think so.
What do you think about Wang Hee-chan?
I think he's okay, but I'm not sure that he's first choice right now. So I'm a little worried, whether he's going to get enough time. But I think if he comes on at 60 minutes, I think in 30 minutes he can score. And I also think Jimenez. He's definitely someone at this point who isn't the same as he used to be. So it's possible he could drop out and he could come back in. So I don't think it's a bad shout, but I'd want to watch that for a few weeks before I jumped on it.